everybody, I'm Joey Paul and I'm an indie author, and today we're doing a writing tag. I saw this video on Emily from Lundy from her Writing a Books channel, and she said that I could do the tag, so I'm gonna do it. This was created by Emily and Holly from Holly Davis. So it's 9 questions on the writing routine and all of that stuff, so I thought I'd go through them one by one and see how it is. So number 1, do you stick to an outline when drafting? Yes and no. Like, I do have an outline and I do stick to it sometimes, but other times I don't. I'm a hybrid, I'm not a planner or a pantser, I do a bit of both. So when I outline, it's a very bare minimum outline, and when I write, I kind of sometimes go off plan, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, I do stick to an outline, but I also don't. Number 2, how long does it take to develop your characters before drafting, or do you use the drafting process to get to know your characters? Again, I do a bit of both. I do create characters before I write them, and I do a minimum sort of like as much as I can think of on a note card. I have these note cards. And each one of them has a character on them, and I can do things like general descriptions, stuff like that, things that their purpose in the book and stuff like that, and things I need to remember. But at the same time, a lot of what their personality will be and how they'll react to things, that will come out while I'm writing, and it's something that if I try to plan it, it doesn't work. I've tried in the past to plan my characters meticulously, and it's blown up in my face, so I go this way instead. Number 3, what gets you in the zone to write? A lot of things. I will write in the evening usually, and I will be chatting with somebody and doing other things, but when I'm in the zone, it's usually when I've done everything I need to do for the day and it's just my chapter left to write, and I'm doing that, and it's quiet outside and I'm not having to worry about being anywhere or doing anything. I'm in no rush and I can just sit there and write. Usually sit at my desk or up in bed at my bed desk, and it just depends on which the mood takes me, really. Number 4, what time of day do you write? Do you stick to specific days to write? I generally write every day, but I don't at the same time. Like, I have a plan to write a chapter a day, and then do blocks of 4, and then I take a day off, and then I do another block of 4. So it really just depends on where the days fall in the month. But I generally write after midday till about 5 o'clock in the evening, and I will write my chapter then. And I will stick to specific days in the fact that if my organisation says you're supposed to write today, I will generally write that day. And if it doesn't need to, I generally won't. I work to it. Number 5, do you always write in the same place/room? Generally speaking, I'm down here at my desk. Other times I will write upstairs in my bed. I have a bed table which has my tablet on it and a keyboard, and I can write happily there. I have done so recently, but generally speaking, this is my office and this is the room I'm writing, and I have my computer and my keyboard and everything else set up. So this is where I generally do my writing. I can write other places. I have written in like cafes before, like Starbucks and stuff like that, but I prefer to write at home in my office where I'm not going to be disturbed. Number 6, do you listen to music during a writing session? No, I don't, because I don't know why. I know a lot of authors will talk about playlists and stuff like that. I personally, if there's music in the background, I can't write. I will sit there and just listen to the music. I've tried with so many different kinds of songs. I've had so many different playlists. I can sometimes do it with instrumental music, but even then my brain is just too busy trying to listen to the music that I can't concentrate on writing. I can do like ambient sounds, like I find it easier to write with cafe noises and thunderstorms and stuff in the background, and there's a website I use for that, and that I can do, and I find it actually makes it more productive, but I can't do it with music. Number 7, how long are your typical writing sessions? As I said, I generally write between midday and about 5ish. I think majority of the time I will write between 1 and 4, and that will be solid writing time. And then I will, if I go over, it happens from time to time. Sometimes I won't finish the chapter until 6, 7 o'clock at night. And I'm one of these people that once I start something, I generally want to finish it before I go off to my next task. So like if I'm going to bed, then I won't want to go to bed until I finish my chapter, unless there's something that this means I have to do it right now. if I'm not feeling well, then I have to go to bed. And yeah, so generally speaking, I will write between those hours and I will stick to them, but sometimes things get in the way and you have to move things around, so I'm not that solid on how long they are. I have been known to write my chapter in an hour, but I've also been known other days to take 6, so it just depends. Number 8, do you read back your work or edit your work before writing the next chapter? Yes, I do, but I wouldn't advise this to somebody who hasn't been doing it for a while. I've been writing for a number of years and I didn't do this when I first started because I found that when it got stuck going over and over and over the edits rather than moving on to the next chapter. But now it's something that I do religiously. I will read the previous chapter and edit bits and pieces as I go and then write the next chapter, and that works for me. I know Emily said that she couldn't do that and she shouldn't do that, and I agree that if you're a newbie writer, it's not a good idea to start there, because you can get pulled into this whole like I have to make it perfect before I continue, and that's never a good idea. And number 9, what's your average goal for a writing session? Word count, pages written, etc. I generally go for a chapter, which is generally 4 pages. I count words, I count chapters, and I count pages, and I add them all up, and at the end of the month I do this big announcement where I've done whatever. So generally my writing session will be a chapter, which will be 4 pages. Sometimes they're longer, but it's basically however long it takes to get that chapter done. Most of my chapters stick to around the 4 or 5 pages mark, and that's my writing session. Sometimes if I'm writing 2 at once, then I'll go over that, but when I'm sitting down to write, my plan is to write 4 pages at least. So yeah, but I also count the word count as well, but I think it's usually about 2,500 every time I sit down, so it's about that. But there's the writing routines tag. If you feel like you want to do it, you are more than welcome to. I am going to tag Julie from Pages and Pens because I know that she does author tags. If it's something that you'd like to do, then please feel free to do so. I will link Emily's and Holly's channels in the description below so you can see their videos. They were really awesome and I really enjoyed watching them, and I really enjoyed exploring the tag myself, so it's just a good tag basically. So that's all I've got time for today. If you want to get in touch with me, you can do so by leaving a comment or subscribing to my channel. I post new videos on Thursdays, or you can find me on Facebook, on Goodreads, on Tumblr or Twitter. Don't forget to pre-order Dying Thoughts 6th Change, which is out May 16th, and you can get it for 99p at the link below. And don't forget to check out Bliss 2018 and Darker 2018, where I'll be selling books this year, all the links to which are listed below. Thanks for watching. Bye.